Hello and welcome to your favorite paranormal podcast. I am your host, Kevin Leonard, and with me today is Aubrey Bowen. He is a Kappa investigator, new to the team. Welcome to the show, Aubrey. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Been a long day, but always have time to talk paranormal with you, Kevin.
Love it, love it. And welcome to the show. I'm happy to have you. So yeah, this is your first episode with us. We got a couple of cool news stories and fun. We're getting into the holiday season. We are in the holiday season. We're in the mix of it right now. We are
Yes,
neck
sir.
deep. Um, Christmas is around the corner. So to all of our listeners out there, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, regardless if you celebrate, don't celebrate, what you celebrate. I hope you have a happy and safe holiday season or just December going into January, whatever you got going on. Hope it is happy and safe. You about ready for Christmas, Aubrey?
I am ready for the break.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I get a hefty break, Christmas break,
Uh,
and we're gonna be out of school coming
Friday,
this
right?
Friday. We got a half day, sir, and then 2 weeks off.
Nice. I don't know what that's like. I have the complete opposite of that. I will be neck deep in work. But whatever. It is what it is. But always fun to look forward to breaks. Um we got some we got some PTO coming up, so I'm excited for that.
Nice.
More on that. Um oh man, it feels weird starting the show and not talking about an upcoming event. So let me go ahead and plug that. If you would like Kappa in at your library or at your event, don't hesitate to reach out to info@kappaparanormal.com, or you can email me directly, kevin@kappaparanormal.com. Um,
Mhm.
so we will do like library lectures and our paranormal 101. We can talk paranormal, talk tech, talk investigating, talk experiences. We have a lot of fun at these events. We are located in the Southeast Georgia, Central Florida area, though. Um, so if you are in the area and you have an event coming up or you'd like to book Kappa, we are completely free of charge. We don't charge for any of our services, as always, regardless if it's an event or investigation or anything like that. We don't charge. Um, but yeah, email us info@kappaparanormal.com. We do have a lot of fun at these events. Um, Cons, conventions, anything like that. Um, Feel free to reach out. Um, and it doesn't even have to be, I know spooky season, it has already come and gone. It doesn't have to be spooky season. These events are fun year long. So the email
Oh,
again,
definitely.
info@kappaparanormal.com. Um, so before we get into today's episode, because we're going to be talking Mothman, um, one of my favorite cryptids. But we're going to be getting into some discussion about Mothman, Mothman sightings, the lore behind Mothman, all that fun stuff. So stick around. It's going to be a good episode. Definitely going to be one of the fun ones. So while we're in that holiday season, I want to kick it off with a little Icelandic folklore that I found.
Ooh,
Um, so, have you ever heard of the Yule Cat, Aubrey?
the Yule Cat.
The Yule Cat.
Can't say that I have, Kevin.
So, I love cats. You love cats. Who doesn't love cats? Uh,
Mm,
so
yes.
this cat
One
in
of them.
particular is a giant menacing cat in Icelandic folklore that prowls the snowy countryside at Christmas, eating anyone who doesn't receive new clothes before Christmas Eve, traditionally to encourage hard work in the wool industry for winter survival. This fearsome beast, often described as huge with glowing eyes, is the pet of the troll witch Grilla and her Yule Lad sons, serving as a dark counterpoint to the gift-giving Yule Lads, but modern interpretations have made it a beloved, quirky part of Icelandic holiday tradition. The origin and purpose, the legend of, or the legend emerged from Icelandic's harsh agrarian society to motivate people, especially children, to finish processing wool and make new clothes for winter, ensuring they were prepared for the cold. So my bit of advice for you is to get some new clothes before it gets too cold in your area, or you might get a visit from the Yule Cat.
The Yule Cat.
The
But
Yule Cat.
it makes me think that it could have some basis in truth. I mean, we have the big black cats, if you've ever heard of it, Kevin, that just kind of appear throughout the United States. And if you know anything about our ecology and nature and stuff like that, uh, we're not supposed to have big black cats roaming around, even cougars.
Hmm.
So I wonder if they have a little bit of the big black cat syndrome over there, and then maybe that's where this came from.
It's
Who
possible.
knows?
It's possible. I mean, a lot of the folklore and myths, they ground themselves in some form of reality.
Right, right,
So
right.
it has to come from somewhere. So that's a very it's a very good possibility. I know the
I mean,
lore on the Yule Cat supposedly is it's bigger than a building. But you know, everything kind of gets
bigger than a
stretched.
building?
Yeah. Yeah. Appearance, a massive
Oh,
dark cat with
wow.
glowing eyes, blue, red, or yellow, and sharp whiskers, often depicted as bigger than a building.
Well, that does make me think about how people claim to see giants sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking like giants,
Yeah.
like, not quite skyscrapers, but
Yeah.
definitely storage high or not not shadow figures, but I've also heard of like what was that big alien spat up in LA or whatever? Wasn't those aliens
Oh,
supposed to
the
be really tall?
the ones in Miami? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they were
those were supposed to
supposedly
be really
like
tall.
really, really tall and just walking around outside.
Yeah,
Um,
stepping over fences and stuff like
mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this whole idea that there was more paranormal stuff before the whole technology age?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I wonder about stuff like that, like if things were more magical back then or something like that. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. That's just kind of crazy talk, I guess. But I mean, hey, we have the tales, so
Yeah. Yeah,
who
I mean,
knows?
like back in the days they would talk about dragons and several cultures have talked about similar things.
The dragons, man.
Yeah.
Exactly, the dragons.
Yeah. I mean, and then, you know, we could put on our tinfoil hats and we could talk about, you know, how the other continents that some people claim exist. I'm not trying to, you know, get into that conspiracy, but the other continents, you know, not the ones that are on our map, you know, that's where the dragons live and these are where the giants live and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Maybe they
Oh,
don't know what we're talking about,
oh.
but
No, no,
we
no.
know what we're talking.
Speaking of continents, I don't know how long this has been a thing. I just found out recently about Zealandia. Have you ever heard of Z?
Zealandia?
That's yeah, another continent that apparently exists and is a legit continent. I didn't hear about
Unless
that
it's
until
underwater.
recently. Yeah, well,
Evidently, there's continents underwater,
yeah, and you're
by the way.
exactly right. So Zealandia is a nearly submerged continent in the South Pacific, with about 94% of its land underwater, making it Earth's hidden eighth
Ah,
continent,
yeah.
with only New Zealand, New Caledonia, and smaller islands rising below sea level. It broke away from the
I
supercontinent
heard about
Gondwana around 80 to 85
it.
million years ago, and its crust stretched and thinned, causing most of it to sink below the ocean. So it says,
Yeah, man,
uh,
I'm impressed, man.
yeah, geologically, it meets the criteria for a continent, possessing its own distinct crust, structure, and boundaries, and is roughly two-thirds the size of Australia.
Maybe
That's
we should be
interesting.
doing a geologic podcast. I mean, hey,
That was just
God,
literally something I heard about, and I looked it up. Stuff
that's
like that.
so cool. That's really cool. And New Zealand, wouldn't want to live in New Zealand? I mean, come on, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Yeah, yep.
yeah. So, you have a news story
I
that
do
you'd
have a
like to
new
share?
story. Yes, let me pull it up real quick. So I thought this was interesting, just because sometimes you do get these sightings of weird. Well, I tell you what, let's read the news
Sightings of the
article
weird, strange, and
of the week.
unusual.
Easter Bunny sightings could represent continuing trend of holiday high strangeness. This is by Tobias Whalen, April 20th, 2025. Since 2022, I have received 3 reports from witnesses who claim to have encountered a large anthropomorphic bunny on Easter. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Crazy. In honor of the holiday, I thought I'd republish them here. The most recent report came from a Canadian man in 2023 who wished to report his encounter with a 6 foot tall white rabbit with a dark vest that he had seen the Easter morning of 1988 in Crofton, British Columbia, when he was 11 years old. So this guy was scarred for life. According to the man, his sighting took place just before 7 a.m. He said, I was looking out my bedroom window across my backyard with a backdrop of a forest. I had a rabbit cage at the border to the forest adjacent to our work shed, roughly 40 feet away. I witnessed a 6 foot tall white rabbit with a dark vest facing the door to my pet rabbit's cage. I went into shock. Yes. Yes, you did. As I was beginning to be skeptical of such things as the Easter Bunny, as I was aging out of the concept. No more. He's going to believe in the Easter Bunny for the rest of his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I maintained a visual of the rabbit and pinched and slapped myself so hard to try and wake myself up. The pain confirmed I was not dreaming. I rubbed my eyes. The giant rabbit was still there. Oh
Still
my
there.
gosh, what is happening? I threw open the single pane window which led to the backyard facing the rabbit cage. I yelled at the rabbit, Hey, I see you. I
I
tried.
see you.
Rabbit's like, crap, gotta disappear again. I tried to volley up into the window to leap out and run to the rabbit. Why? This thing would also eat you, probably, right?
I was gonna say,
It's
wait,
6 feet tall.
what would you do when you got there?
I know, right? Or what would the rabbit do?
Yeah.
And he said he's in my tiny white kid's underwear,
Oh,
but couldn't make it up. out the window. And it turned, looked at me, and took a series of bounds at high speed into the forest. I called my little brother, and he had arrived at the window as a giant rabbit disappeared into the Douglas firs. I woke my parents and even a neighbor. I quizzed them as to a possible Easter costume, but I knew no one could make leaps at that speed, nor have such a detailed costume. A vest, but, well, and a rabbit, yes. And
Yeah.
why run for that matter? They all had a good laugh at my expense. I explored my pet rabbit cage and surroundings as well as the forest soon after, trying to get a sense of what occurred. No tracks, no trace evidence was left behind. The memory haunts me to this day because of the absurdity of the situation. And he goes on, he Googles strange experience, such as the one he observed during his youth. Um, and let's see. He says, I'm in disbelief and a little embarrassed, but feel compelled to tell you my story because this is beyond coincidence and it indicates something bigger is going on. So evidently other people have seen this before. He's currently a retired police officer. Okay.
Well, I mean, it adds
And
credibility,
forensic
but
artist residing in Central. Yeah. And like I said, Tobias is really great in interviewing these people, and he's who's taught me too. He's really good at being able to detect if somebody is lying or if they're trying to pull a fast one on them. So, as crazy as this sounds, Kevin, this may be a reliable story.
yeah, I mean, maybe there's
And
some bunny folk out there.
bunny folk. I mean, there's no way there's really bunny folk. This has got to be some type of um
Hoax or
illusion.
yeah, because it
A
reminds me
hoax.
because when when I was little, um it was Easter. I remember coming outside and I had to have been 6 or 8, somewhere around that ballpark. Um and it was Easter, like I said, and I remember coming outside. And when you walk outside, there was like a little small walkway, and then there was like dirt or sand or whatever on the other side of on either side of the walkway. And I remember a particularly large bunny print on the ground, like away from the house. And I, of course, being very small, was like, oh my God, the Easter Bunny's footprint, blah, 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 blah. I'm pretty sure that my dad made like a little bunny print in the ground. And he never told me that he did that, but I remember seeing the bunny print. I don't think it was the Easter bunny. I'm pretty sure my dad did it, or it just could have happened to be a natural occurrence, like, of a collection of imprints on the ground that my small child mind interpreted as a bunny print that was large. Um, so
Kevin,
that, hmm,
how large was this?
the bunny print, maybe, maybe about like that.
What? What?
Yeah. So
Wow.
if you could think of like what an Easter bunny would look like, a rabbit on 2 legs, with like because it has like its thing. It had like the bottom part of the foot and then like the little toes up top. Yeah.
So I just so happened to pick out a story about
Okay.
this guy who saw a life-size Easter bunny, and you just so happened to see a print of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Promise on everything. I saw that. But like I said, I'm pretty sure my dad made it in the ground. Because
Okay.
that's where my mind went. Like I was thinking like maybe like his dad. I mean, that's a pretty elaborate hoax, and
It
to
is.
never have told him about it, a
Yeah.
guy goes his whole life thinking that he saw the Easter Bunny when it was like his dad and a costume. But, be that as it may or may not, it just like people put on like the Grinch costume and all that stuff. Um, it could be one and the same.
Yeah. I mean, I'm maybe I'm naive, but when somebody gets online, or especially when somebody's been interviewed like Tobias has, I'm just like, okay, maybe he saw what he saw. And there's bunnies out there,
I
and big, big buddies.
mean, it
But
would
then
be a
my
pretty
head
big
started
bunny.
to explode because I can deal with ghosts, Kevin. I can deal with Mothman. I can deal with UFOs, but a
Bunnies is
six.
where you draw the line.
Yeah, I might just take out like crocheting or something, you know. It's just done because it just
Dog
sounds like a
man,
bad.
got it. Werewolves, cool, bring
Yeah,
them on.
yeah,
Vampires, got
yeah.
this.
Um,
Bunnies,
uh,
no.
yeah. Oh, well, I mean, vampires start getting into, like, my wife likes Interview with the Vampire, and that gets into the sexy vampire stuff, and that kind of pops
No.
my bubble of really cool paranormal. No, no.
Oh, yeah. No.
But bunnies, bunnies. That's like, I mean, there's just stuff you don't mix. You can't, right? Right?
Don't mess with the bunnies, huh?
Don't mess with the bunnies. Where's Santa Claus? People see Santa Claus.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, what do? You know, you're a kid and you saw Santa Claus, and your parents have been saying, "Oh yeah, Santa Claus is coming," or whatever, and kid
Well,
sees it.
you
Parents
better
been
have
saying,
better be hoping that you were nice all year.
yeah.
That's one thing.
Why does
So,
Santa Claus have long teeth?
what is what?
Santa Claus have long teeth. Like it could be something out of some type of horror show or something
Oh,
like that. It smiles, the
oh,
jagged teeth or something. I don't
I don't
know.
know. That's yeah.
A little scary.
That would be terrifying. Um, so I think we should take a little trip to Point Pleasant and
Ooh.
let's talk about some Mothman. So Mothman first appeared in the 1960s.
Mm,
Um, and what was the bridge? The bridge, the Silver Bridge?
mm. Can't really remember the name
Oh,
of the bridge. I remember,
how are we gonna talk
uh,
about Mothman? Can't remember the bridge.
well, the thing is, though, Kevin, is that we've got the Point Pleasant
The Silver
Mothman,
Bridge. Yeah.
um, but we got the Mothman that's happening over there next to the Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, we've had a book and we have a statue, and I think they even have some type of fair
Mm-hmm.
for,
The Moth
for
the
Mothman.
Mothman Festival. Yep.
But there's been over 150 documented sightings of this Mothman.
Yeah.
And though they call it the Mothman, it's more kind of like a humanoid bat.
Bat. Yes. But
Yeah,
the Mothman is very fantastical in nature. It's very unbelievable in the description of it, the movement of it, but there are so many sightings and so many people claim to see very, very similar visions of the Mothman. And a lot of times, like those visions or those sightings, they happen before some sort of incident. And it was the Silver Bridge. I was right.
Yep.
That
Silver Bridge.
one is the most famous. That's when it all began. And like that was a tragic accident, and people reported seeing the Mothman around that time. And it almost it became a like an omen. If you saw the Mothman, you knew something bad was about to happen. Um,
Yeah, you know, I think they eventually debunked that too about the bridge, believe it or not. Um, because who is the guy that wrote the big book um on the Mothman? Do you remember?
I can pull it up now.
I can
John
almost
Keel.
John Keel,
Yeah,
yes.
he made the Mothman Prophecies, which is
The
also
Mothman.
a movie, pretty
Yes.
decent movie. That's
Yeah,
actually
it was decent.
that's actually the first time I heard about the Mothman. I watched the Mothman Prophecies.
Hmm. Yep, I remember them, the kids, because I was a kid when it came out, talking about it and stuff. But a lot of that's been debunked. Uh, they did have sightings while, like in the surrounding days, months,
Hmm.
when the bridge fell and stuff like that. And to his credit, there has been some sightings, if I remember correctly, of the Chicago Mothman or Lake Michigan Mothman being around a bridge. But in general, a lot of those stuff on John Keel has been debunked. Um, and I'd have to kind of go into the details of that. However, um, even though we have the Point Pleasant Mothman sightings dry up, we've had a whole lot more sightings to the west
Hmm.
happen. And it started off about 15, 20 years ago with um, there was this big spat where some type of humanoid figure was on top of this large building, jumped off and flew off, kind of thing. Um, and I think that's what got a couple of folks, the people at Phantoms and Monsters looking at it, and Tobias at a Singular Fortean looking at it, and some other investigators looking at it. Um, but what happened was it's really interesting because it wasn't just your regular, um, I don't know, insect-like Mothman. There was that, right? But there was also the bat-like Mothman that people
Hmm.
saw, and people are continuing to see that, and it's really credible reports.
Yeah, and I mean, people even allegedly saw uh the Mothman before the Chernobyl meltdown.
Yes, I heard
Th
about that.
They
Hmm.
call it the Black Bird of Chernobyl.
I came
But
across one that was never gotten published, but it was in England when I was doing research on the subject. And evidently, they have a form of the Mothman over there that we're just kind of experiencing our Mothman here,
mhm.
which kind of makes sense if you think about it in the cryptid sense. But we haven't
So,
even gotten to what it. Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
oh no, I was just gonna say, so I was gonna put on my tinfoil hat again, and like I wonder because I've never looked into it. I wonder if there has been like heightened UFO sightings at the same time because it goes into because a
Yeah.
lot of
Yes.
cryptids Bigfoot is a big one. Usually
Hmm.
whenever there's a Bigfoot sighting, there's a lot of UFO sightings um
Well,
in
my
or
friend, you
around
can
the
take off
same
that
area.
tin. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
You can take off that tinfoil hat because people are seeing it connected with UFOs.
That just makes sense. And it kind of draws lines between several, if not all, cryptids and cryptid sightings with UFOs
Mhm.
and
It certainly does,
extraterrestrials.
which is kind of crazy to think about. Like me personally, in my own fantasy world, I, I'd love to keep UFOs separate from
Yes, yeah,
cryptid because look, Bigfoot does not put on a spacesuit and go into space,
right,
right?
right.
Or
As
maybe
far as
he
I
does.
know, that's what I was saying. As far as
Yeah.
I've never asked him.
Well, but the thing is that it seems like he might. Like, okay, there's a specific report that I always thought was just kind of a fringe report that was recorded, and what had happened was they they managed to record the Mothman talking to little grays, and they even recorded it hopping up to the grays, right?
Hmm.
Like walking like a goose does. And that sounds crazy, but in a more credible report, it was actually hopping.
Hmm.
So it makes me think that, there was some validity, at least to that report. And then, of course, like you said, UFOs have uh, been reported contacting other Bigfoots. I haven't read them, but I mean, it kind of starts to make you think. I mean, people see UFOs all the time.
Yep.
People see Bigfoot all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, you can go down a rabbit hole when it comes to cryptids and
Yeah. Rabbit hole.
cryptozoology. Yeah, back to your bunnies.
Back to the buttons.
Um, but I mean, and then it goes to let's just say they are connected. It would make sense as to why there are different types of these cryptids. Mothman,
Yes,
for example, why Mothman? Some people and it's not even just some people. It's a lot of people have almost the same sighting um,
they do.
at different
They do.
times.
They
So
do.
people will see him and he looks like a moth. He looks like an insect. Some other
Mhm.
people, he looks like a bat. He looks
Yep.
more
Hmm.
like got the rubbery wings, the red eyes.
Hmm.
Some people, he looks more bird-like. He has feathers,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
so is it all the same Mothman, or is there Mothmen? But they are
Boom.
a type of extraterrestrial being that was maybe sent to warn, or um, let's just say that they were sent by us from the future because
Mhm.
it's already been recorded that these types of incidents are going to happen, and they're sending something to warn us, like some sort of omen. And you could
It could
argue, well,
very
why
be.
don't they just let us know so it doesn't happen? Nobody would believe it, you
Or
know?
it could be the whole portal thing.
Hmm.
And I think that's where I stand or end up falling on. because the whole thing is really weird. But uh, there's been reports of like little portals uh, near some of this stuff. Specifically, the airports, believe it
Mm-hmm.
or not. Um, so I guess my theory would be um, some of these aliens or spacecrafts slash Mothman are coming out of there, maybe. Um, it does seem like the Mothman are, in my opinion, are biological in nature. Yes, they're huge, but often their bodies are described as being emaciated,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when they fly around, um, whether it's the bat-like one or the insect-like one, they fly the way you would expect it to fly.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe they got planted by the aliens, possibly. Or maybe we don't have to worry about the alien part at all. And just like Ghost, right?
Right.
Who knows what ghosts are? But the ghost exists.
Right.
Seemingly. You've seen a ghost before, Kevin.
Yeah. I've seen
Oh,
something.
sorry.
I've seen
But
something.
seen something. And in the same way, these people see these things and there's something to it. Now, whether it's some type of uh, biological experiment that some illegal scientists are doing, or if it's aliens doing it, or if it's um, what's the other theory? That there could be another race of people or
Mm-hmm.
humanoid like people on Earth or extra dimensional people. Who knows?
Yeah.
All
I
I know
mean,
is that people are seeing weird stuff out there, man.
yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm interested if any of our listeners have had a Mothman um sighting or experience.
Hmm.
And if you have, was it tied to a particular event? Um, Let me see something really quick. Um, because I was just looking during the events because I know that a few of the sightings they claimed that it would chase like the cars and stuff like that. Um,
Yep.
I was just looking to see if there was any reports of Mothman like attacking because you have like the Bigfoot attacks and stuff like that where
There's
people will
been
say that Bigfoot has thrown rocks at people or
right,
thrown
right.
tree trunks basically at people.
Um, the reports that I read, there was a few where it appeared aggressive, um, where it was flying around the person while they were driving, uh, almost trying to intimidate them,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like landing on the car and such.
Mm-hmm.
There was one where like these folks were walking to a gas station and it was almost trying to intimidate them. Like it would swoop in towards them and then land on the other side of them and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah, that
but
that one it like landed on like the other side of the road or something like that, right? But it wouldn't necessarily get near them. It would
Mhm,
just kind of like swoop down, land on the other side of the road, or just like just out of distance. Yeah, I remember that
mhm.
sighting too. Um, yeah,
There
and
was one where, oh, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
There was one. And I was talking to Tobias about this one, and I think it's the only sighting that uh, I know of that is doing this. But there's one where it looks like it's flying down and landing on a rat or something like that. And I felt like that was really important because that shows it being more biological in nature,
Hmm.
that is eating local fauna, if you will, or
Right.
whatever. Um, that it has like a means of eating. Uh, Obviously these things need a place to live. So I've always wondered like where would they stay? Like under a bridge, abandoned buildings, maybe there's caves nearby, but I've never figured that out.
Yeah, because I want to say the first sighting was near an abandoned TNT factory.
Yep, yep.
So that could tie into the
Hmm.
abandoned building or something. Or maybe it just like fed off of whatever energy um that was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and that gets into the idea that this thing could be psychic
Yeah.
too. Uh, there's been a few sightings where um people felt like they were receiving like this psychic energy from it,
Yeah.
and like it was telling them to go away, or um it I don't recall it being very positive,
Right.
honestly. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Creepy stuff, man.
But interesting. I love it.
Very interesting. I just like what? So if aliens are doing it, then are they looking into a way to repopulate the world or something? Who knows? Like you can come up with so many different theories of why these things are around. All I
Mm-hmm.
know is people are having these sightings.
Yeah.
One really spooky one, let me tell you about this one. And this is one of the ones I always think about. And evidently there's a lot of sightings similar to this, but this lady was just out there walking her little dog out into the park, and there was like this little hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there they just see it. This Mothman just standing right there in the middle, not doing anything. And I don't know if it was this one or not, but oftentimes it'll go from standing to directly straight up into flight,
Wow.
and and that blows my mind. But I guess when you have like a wingspan of like 15 feet or 10 feet or however long, you
Mm-hmm.
can do some pretty crazy aerial maneuvers. Um, and maybe that's where it gets into a little less believable. But
Yeah.
evidently, bats are better at flying than birds are.
Yeah.
Um,
Birds use they more glide than they do
right,
fly.
right. And bats
Yeah.
do a lot of flapping.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think like what is it? The bird that flies technically the most is the hummingbird, I think. Because it
Really,
has I think, I don't know. I'm not an
that would
expert.
be
I'm just thinking because they flap their wings constantly. I mean, I could have just been pulling that straight out of there. I'm not gonna lie. So, I mean, never claimed to be a bird expert.
mm.
If we have any bird experts in the in our audience, comment what bird flies the most in comparison to gliding, like actually uses its wings to fly. Um, but
You see how you thought bird used its wings to fly,
yeah.
honestly,
Um,
but it makes sense.
I was gonna say it could also it could explain other types of cryptid sightings, like the Thunderbird. or some people claim to even see pteranodons still, like
Mhm.
flying dinosaurs. Like, could
The
that be?
pterodactyl.
Yeah, could that just be like Mothman? You know, or could Mothman be these other things?
Or they
Um,
could be birds too. Uh, Investigators have pointed out that um, people can mistake a Mothman sighting for some of these large cranes,
yeah,
and actually these cranes in Chicago have these really gnarly sounds they make, which is supposed to be the sound that the Mothman makes, but they make it, and it sounds like a train coming through. Believe it or not,
yeah.
it's wild.
Um, oh, when you said the crane, it reminded me of this is completely off topic, but have you seen the shoebill crane?
No.
No, it looks
Yep.
terrifying. It looks like a real
Yeah,
life terror bird.
yes. I've seen that. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
gosh.
think they look cool. I like dinosaurs, but
Oh,
that
I
thing,
love dinosaurs.
yeah, like that looks it looks terrifying. So that was just completely off topic, random thought that
No,
popped
the
in my head when you
dinosaur
said
day.
yeah,
And
when
oh,
you
I wanted to make a note too, going back to the Iceland thing.
hmm
Um, I don't know about big cats, like house-sized cats being seen, like Red, Big Red the dog or something
yeah,
like
like
that.
Clifford the big red
Clifford the
dog.
dog.
Yeah.
No, but Kevin, people see little people,
Oh
and
yeah.
in Iceland, they're really big on their
Yep.
little people.
Yep.
They are.
I mean, I think that's all across the northern UK. They do have their little people, like tiny people sightings, leprechauns,
Mhm.
gnomes, all that fun stuff. Yeah. There's actually a leprechaun sighting in Florida that I read about before.
Really?
Yep. Um
Who says she saw a leprechaun?
it's an actual police report.
A police report?
Yep, a police report.
Oh,
Um, if I can remember the story. So, I don't know how many years ago. I forget, the details, but it was actually in an orange grove. This guy owned an orange grove, and a little leprechaun type person would come and steal oranges, and he ended up building like a makeshift like little trap and trapped the little person inside of a box and called the police.
really?
The police showed up. Little guy was still in the box. So it's not like, oh, then he was gone when they showed up. He was still in the box, yelling and cussing and like everything like that. And apparently the police showed up. They didn't have handcuffs big enough or small enough for this little guy. And apparently they made a deal that if he like stopped stealing the oranges, I think, um, they would let him go. So because they couldn't keep him. Um, yeah, I might be missing bits and pieces of the story, but yeah, that was a Florida leprechaun police reported sighting. Ugh, that
I
was
wonder if he immigrated over.
I don't know. Um,
But have you heard that the Native Americans around the Great Lakes uh, supposedly had lots of folklore about little people, and I
mhm.
think other tribes have too,
See,
or other Native Americans in different areas have
I,
as well. Yeah.
I've said this before, and it's interesting that so many ancient cultures, they'll have similar folklore. They'll have similar stories, cave drawings, things that were recorded or that were recorded on like natural land masses, like, on rocks or wherever, carvings and whatnot, um, about the same thing: UFOs, dragons, little people, unicorns, stuff like that. That, the Aztecs may have had something drawn. I can't think of, a single thing in particular, but a type of drawing on um on their caves or the pyramids or wherever they had them, and you would see almost the identical drawings in ancient Egypt or ancient China, like so many miles away, so many years apart, that they wouldn't tell each other these stories, and they wouldn't pass them from one civilization to another. Native Americans, they have had we've seen cave drawings from Native Americans of dragons, UFOs, Bigfoot, and you see these same identical drawings from that same time period or different time period, even older time periods in China. And they
Or
would have never have known each other. They would have never spoken to each other. They couldn't have spoken to each other.
yeah, yeah. This
And
is
it,
mm,
that's where a lot of these myths, these cryptids, these stories, I feel like they're grounded in some sort of reality. Um, I'm not saying that several thousand years ago there were fire-breathing dragons, flying across the skies. Could there have been? Possibly, I don't know. But there is something that these people have seen, and they drew it because that's what they did. They would draw what they see.
yeah.
And
Well,
they,
I was gonna say though, it could also be possible that they're seeing these things in their present day, and that's when they're drawing it. Because
yeah.
I know um present day now, uh people just like with ghost sightings, people will see little little people in their
Hmm.
house.
Yeah.
Uh and it makes me wonder if they have like a some type of camouflage skill, assuming that these sightings are real, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever come across, like in your 20 years, a people seeing little people?
No.
Really?
Yeah, nobody has contacted Kappa with that. No. Um, I will say most of our, if not all of our people will reach out to us. It's something the more traditional paranormal, ghosts, stuff like
Original.
that.
So no high
No.
strange.
Yeah, no, but I've read stories of the little people, the different cryptids and things like that, because I mean I'm
Mhm.
like you, I'll go in rabbit holes of paranormal things because I mean it's paranormal. It covers everything above the normal.
It does. You
Um,
mentioned dinosaurs.
I
You've
mentioned
heard
what?
about dinosaurs.
Hmm.
I've never heard much more other than see, and I'm sure it's fake, but like in, in these big forests,
Hmm.
maybe the rainforest, like the little dinosaur going across the road,
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
probably that's
I
fake.
don't know. I mean, yeah, probably. To be, to ground, I will ground myself in reality, and I will say probably. I haven't seen, I don't know, but probably. It's just like the Loch Ness monster, you know, it, all the sightings and the the details of the Loch Ness monster point to it being a God, I can't talk. Liopuridon, I believe. Um,
Like, here on.
um, so but there are also sightings of the Loch Ness monster on land. People have seen the Loch Ness monster cross the road and that I guess drives by Loch Ness and going back toward the water. There is also where was it in Africa? Around the Amazon? The Amazon is in Africa, right?
The Amazon
Or is that South
is
America?
in South America.
South America. All right. It's been a long day. Um,
It,
um, so have you've heard the stories of the Amazon where people apparently claim to see like brontosauruses, but they're like
yeah,
very, very small.
yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah. But like they're I want to say that they're actually claiming to see it was is it a Camarasaurus? Where they're not as big as a brontosaurus. A brontosaurus you would definitely see. That's
Right.
they're tall. But a Camarasaurus I think are like on the smaller side.
Hmm.
Um, so I want to say that that is what they were claiming to see, or maybe it was a Diplodocus. Diplodocus are very large too, but they're more long. They would hold their head down. Um, Anyway, we're talking about dinosaurs now, but though those were sightings in, the rainforest.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
There
And
is.
we could talk about it for hours and hours. But I'm afraid that is all the time we have for this episode because I believe we've been going for a little bit now. Um, but before we go, um, if you stuck around this far, please, if you haven't already done so, and you're watching this on YouTube, do us a big favor and share, comment. Let us know if you've seen any of the things that we've talked about. Have you seen Mothman? Have you
Mhm.
seen a dinosaur? I mean, probably not, but have you seen any cryptid Bigfoot? What do you think about things? Even if you haven't seen it, what do you think about the cryptids, the world of cryptozoology? Or if you even have a paranormal story of your own, uh,
Mhm.
I'd love to read it on one of these episodes. Send it over, info@kapaparanormal.com. If you're on Facebook, like the page, facebook.com/Kappa Paranormal. If you're listening to this on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, anywhere where you get your podcast, do us a big favor. Don't ask too much, but give us a 5-star review. It helps us out a lot. It gets more people to hear the show. It reaches our audience, or it gives us more of a reach for an audience. Um, Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast provider. Um, but yeah, that's it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and you can find me anywhere Kappa Paranormal. Just Google Kappa Paranormal. Facebook's there, the Twitter's there, um, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Keep up to date with what we're doing. Follow the Facebook page, like I said before. We're always getting into something fun. And that's about it. Uh, as always, I have been Kevin Leonard. That has been Aubrey Bowen. Am I pointing to you? Yes. Um, and this has been In to the Paranormal.